Let's put some gravy on it. Let's put some gravy on it.
was a weird one. That was a weird one for Wild and Eve. It's quite funny to me. Is it not Ladies a canon wizard in D&D? No. No. I don't think so. Not one that I know of. No. No, I don't see anything for that. There's a bunch of Eve reports about me of like Trebok and X, the final triangle. It is the final triangle. There's a bunch of pictures of my character for like the CSM interview stuff. It's quite funny. Oh, look at this dude. This dude showed up and stole all your shit. How does that feel? If you were Edencom, and I know some of you in chat are Edencom, I know you are. This dude showed up and stole all of your shit, took your stars, and then laughed at you. And then drank your tears. Kind of like this. Delicious. Oh, God, delicious. Delicious stars. And you never get them back. I don't even play the game anymore. I can still gloat about it. Because we won. It didn't matter. Won the war and left, dude. Alexis Matari tears? True, actually. It was a fun fight, though. I actually, like, to be honest with you, Kronos, I really enjoyed our fights with Alexis Matari because they were about equal in strength to us. Like, it was really cool to have, like, a foe that was about the same as us before all of the nullsec blobs decided to be like, oh, dinner. You know, like, it was great. It was actually good. When they would actually fight, they actually fought us every time we tried to take their structure down. Yeah, they always bat phoned. I think it was when it was just us and them, it was cool. And then they just bat phoned for like some friggin' nullsec blob, and I was like, God damn it, dude, just fight us. Just fight us. It'd be fun. They're like, no, we need to have 5 times your troops. I was like, okay, well then we'll bat phone, and now you call us goons. It's fun. It's a good time. I was in Bomber's Bar casually. Dude, let me tell you, if you're in Bomber's Bar, Abe Froman, I'm going to give you something right now. You ready for this? You can go to Pochfin, and you can use Pochfin to teleport out of Pochfin as if you were in New Eden. You can use that to drop on people. If they light a Sino, you can warp over. You can bridge from it. It's real good. We used to use it all the time to harass people. You just send a bunch of bombers over there. Yeah. And because you move through Pochfin, it moves you in New Eden space. Just a couple of jumps will put you on the other side of the galaxy. You get new targets. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun thing. Yeah. Bridging out of Pochfin is the way to go, my dude. Super fun. Super fun. You get range for days, man. So enjoy that shit. We learned that one at the beginning, and whew. it was some delicious times. They're like, where are these guys sinoing out of? We're just out of Pochfin, out of nowhere space, right? It's like bridging out of a wormhole. It makes no goddamn sense. They have no idea where you come from. You just appear, screw up the whole entire area, and then disappear again. It's amazing. God, it's so good. Is Pochfin a random name gen, too? Pochfin was the name of our space. It's our area in space. Yeah. Yeah, I know the GTA 6 guy got, what is it, like life in, it's not even in prison, it's in like a hospital, which is weird. It's kind of a weird one. Yeah, hospital care. It's very strange. The whole thing's weird, legitimately. The whole thing's odd. Boss Lady Radio with a party of 61, thank you very much. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. AKA works for the government now? No, it's not really how that goes, to be honest with you. If you end up working for the government, you end up working for the government. But if you get life in hospital, you don't end up working for the government. To be real with you, the government really doesn't want people to do super, super illegal stuff like that. You kind of get blacklisted on a lot of stuff. It's not good. Yeah. All right, next.
Stewie G 2020 with 500 bits said, can you please release all the TTS on the day we compete for the 3rd world record and release it as a short to commemorate?
Release all the TTS? What do you mean release all the TTS? Do you mean just like launch all?
We have a second account. Why do you have a second account, Coco? Jump to it first.
A friend of mine was too broke back then, so I bought another account and I had to.
Oh my god.
And it always depends if I wanted to play priest or rogue.
Okay, huh? Warlock, okay. Wait,
I
who
know.
declined?
What?
Oh, who declined each? Calling the damage machine. Hey, Machete! Hello! Hola, señoras and señores! Hola, ¿qué tal? How you doing? What are you laughing at?
I don't have spells in my bar.
Oh my. It's making fun of me, guys. Dude.
Doesn't matter, we have Nora. He has 800k HP.
Exactly.
Huh?
I am delighted.
I don't have a mount in my bar. GG.
Exactly, yeah.
Where do we start? Where do we start?
You can talk to this guy and you get haste buff. You can talk to any of these to get different buffs. This one gives haste. And then you can start over the breach here. Or if you want big pool, you go up here and we start here.
Okay, we'll go up here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems like things are in further disrepair than we anticipated.
That's not really
Pool whatever you can.
She says as if she's the healer. Uh-oh, I have healer aggro. Uh-oh, I have healer aggro!
Healing.
So sorry.
That's a yikes.
Wait, Ichistra's. There's too much life magic. What are you doing?
What are you
What are
doing?
you doing?
Too much nature. What are you doing?
Nur gut, how you mal kurz einen Break und dann geht's weiter. Ist das Arbeiten? Programmieren?
Not.
Literally don't need to do shit. Nova is literally unkillable. West coding, like Neo, let's go.
You can go this. No, you can go here.
What an overgrown state.
What that direction?
And then we go in a circle.
Go in a circle. Okay, I like it. Hi Simon, how you doing? Bald nächste Woche. Fahrt's nach Polen für Weihnachten. Do you have your bars yet?
No, I'm on.
Huh?
I'm doing it right now.
I can see because you're not doing anything.
Did you almost get yeeted off?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I would never.
I see.
Do we have to go to the edges or can we go here?
No. This is Gucci.
Krank und nein. Doing good, thank you. Sollen wir wieder wegspringen, Simon? So many birds. Fucking birds.
Now we need to clear out the big one. I will activate
Ja, gesuchtet. Let's go. Was hast du gespielt? Having to collect us?
You so smart.
What is this?
Genau.
And now we play dodgeball.
We're basically at like a Harry Potter school at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Hello, big bird.
Bird. Bird is the word.
Play ball. Later.
Lol.
I might have gotten a kickoff, guys. Oopsie.
GG.
I was
Where you
getting the
going,
ball. I was getting the ball. I was trying to do the mechanic. Oh, wow. Ich habe Lich King angefangen, Rogue oder Lock gespielt. Brauchen wir gar nicht mehr anfangen. Nee, warte mal, ich habe Lich King angefangen. Das ist ja ganz schlimm damals. Viel Spaß noch! Das kriegst du Bock auf WoW, ja. Schnell weg!
Let's go, wer hat noch nicht, wer will noch mal. Jetzt geht es wieder los mit einer weiteren 30-Minuten-Session. Let's go, meine Freunde.
the ultimate special effects in the background for you guys. Nugget, ich habe nämlich einen englischen Kommentierer, glaube ich, auf Twitch deswegen. Elon's musky crack, what's going on? By the way, Angela, interesting choice. Yeah, thanks, man. I need to turn down the output a little bit of the music. Yeah. Why Angular? The main reason was because when I started developing Angular 2 years ago, the first time, I had some senior devs, which I'm still in contact, and I can always ask when I'm not moving further in my code and I have some issues or stuff like this, and they can help me out. They helped me out in the past a lot, so I've always somebody to ask for a specific question, and they show me like how to do it in the industrial way, and not like some code courses or Udemy courses. I think it was like I didn't know which framework really, to be honest, to use, so didn't know if React or Vue, Svelte, or any of these. But yeah, I went with Angular because it's like from Google, and I'm using Firebase in the background, so infrastructure as a service, where I get like the database authentication, functions, storage, and all the stuff. It's really good by Google, and it's quite nice. Yeah, I'm like, maybe React one day, but I think that, like, I don't know, but like for me, I'm looking a lot of the Primetime and Primagen and stuff like this, and to be honest, I don't really feel like React is the way to go or Angular is the way to go. I think if I would have to learn a web framework, I would go currently with so what I would really like to learn is Go and HTMX, the combination of Golang and HTMX, because I'm coming from like mechatronics background, where I'm like did a lot of C coding, and I would really like to know how to do the stuff I did with Angular in Go with HTMX, because I think performance wise this is killer shit. This will kill Angular and all the other web frameworks, of course, and it's not only Angular. React, in my honest opinion, especially Next.js wins for the front end. Yeah, after so many years of doing it, but I don't even focus on front end until later. Yeah, the funny thing is, I started with Angular on the front, and right now I'm doing Next.js on the back end. So it's like, what the fuck is going on with me? Because with backend design using DDD, I start with always. Yeah, it's like right now, like 10 minutes ago before you came in, I just finished the switch where I had like my Angular project with this little functions part in it. I'm just leaving coming from Java. Yeah. Java. No, it's good. It's good. So what I did before you came, Elons, I got my Angular project and this little folder functions where I wrote just some basic functions for Stripe, for image conversion with Google Functions and stuff like this. And like 10 minutes before you came, I just finished the split where I moved, like I had my project folder and I started to make a front end and a backend folder and moved the functions to the backend folder, installed Nest.js, installed Prisma so I can access my Planet Scale database. So all the stuff I just did like 10 minutes ago, and damn, it works. It just works. I just deployed the build on my dev domain, and it works. I got a hello world from my API I'm calling. So I'm currently in the state of I'm super happy because I started like 3 weeks ago a prototype project where I did the feature I want to build in as a prototype project, where I just make some simple Angular front end, just log in, stuff like this, and did like the whole bunch of backend where I do like the get, the post, the patch, the update, the delete, all the CRUD elements, and stuff like this. And I didn't want it to put it into my development or production build already because I didn't know if it works, if I will be able to handle it. And I handled it, and right now I'm pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Next.js and Vercel is so fucking good. Yeah, I host my API on Google Cloud Run through and proxy Vercel to Google Cloud Run. Okay, I literally didn't understand anything from the last 2 sentences you wrote, but I understand some words, yeah, but I didn't know what's the benefits or what would be the standard way of doing it and what would be the benefits of doing it like you do it. Maybe you can explain, so we all will learn. Google Cloud Run is basically serverless containers. You Dockerize an API, host it on Google Cloud Runs, and can handle 1000 requests a second. Seamless scale up per box. Okay, I understand that. Yeah. So I really don't know when I'm deploying an API, like right now on okay, watch this. Let me check that out. Google runs scalability, yeah, on stream. It's such a good demo on stream. Okay, I will look it up and later on. But I think I understand what you mean. Let's watch it together. How long is it? 7 minutes 24. Okay, man, let's do it. Okay, on double speed. Okay, let's go. It will go for 4 minutes. Okay. Let's drop it.
I love how easy it is to build web apps with Cloud Run. I don't have to worry about server
Okay, we need to speed this up.
Maintenance.
Yes, I've met with many developers here in Europe who say the same things.
But some large retailers here in
We won't do like XX. We will do 1.5.
the US have asked me, what happens when Black Friday or another traffic spike happens? Can Cloud Run scale up quickly enough?
Absolutely. Let's find out by running an experiment.
Alright, Pizza, how will this experiment work?
I build a simple Cloud Run service, and this is what it does. When it gets a request,
Okay, we've got app-get, yeah, sleep, wait for 1 second, burst some CPU cycle, compute primes, yeah, and then send the response. Okay.
it will wait for 1 second and then compute a few prime numbers. It's a healthy mix of I/O waits and CPU usage.
Okay, but Visa, is this actually a good example? I don't know of many customers who are computing prime numbers in production.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A better example would look like this. To handle a request, your service likely sends a request to the backend, waits for the response, and then burns a few CPU cycles to process the response.
I get what you're trying to say. Your example is similar to real-world services because it's also a mix of waiting and CPU usage. Do you also have a...
Yeah, but his example here, no matter what you're doing, it doesn't handle any error cases like compared to this one here. where you got like database requests and you don't know it's coming back data, what's your connection, stuff like that. Yeah, it's just an
To
example.
handle
Never
a
mind.
request, your service likely sends a request to the backend, waits for the
real world services because it's also a mix of waiting and CPU
You just want to demonstrate computing power, like computing.
usage. Do you also have a database that you're sending queries to here?
No, I don't. My service handles every request by waiting for 1 second and computing a few prime numbers to burn CPU cycles. And in the real world, the whole system needs to scale, including the database. But this demo is just about scaling Cloud Run.
All right, sounds great, Pizza. Now you're going to send some traffic to your Cloud Run service, right?
That's right. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'll use an infinite loop to send requests to my service. And in fact, I'll use many infinite loops.
That's great. I'm usually not a fan of infinite loops, but they sound very useful here. How will we see the results of it?
How many is he sending? Like, I mean this shit is like, yeah, this is not like thousands. This scales up in 10 seconds. You will have like, normally you should crash
this load test.
Well, I've built a small dashboard, and it will show all those infinite loops visualized as red circles. And all those infinite loops send requests to the Cloud Run service. Cloud Run starts container instances to handle the requests, and I visualize the container instances using green squares.
That looks great. How do you know when each container starts and stops?
In my code, I send a message to PubSub when the container is ready to receive requests. And I also send a signal when it's about to shut down. And that does mean that there might be a small lag in the visualization before you see the container instance light up in the interface. Well, that's the container instance startup time.
Okay, got it. When the clients are sending requests, we won't see the container instances immediately because Cloud Run has to start them first. That sounds reasonable. Now, shall we start the load test?
Yes, let's get started. Here is my load tester tool. There are 4 buttons at the top. We're now at no traffic. There's regular traffic, a traffic surge, and insane traffic. And I'm not sure I want to press that today, but well, I will do it anyway.
All right, and there's also a total number of requests and success percentage.
Press the red button. Classic insane traffic, insane traffic button.
Now that success percentage, that's an important number to watch, right?
Yeah, that's right. It would be really great if the success percentage stays at 100%, because that will mean that Cloud Run successfully handled every single request. Now let's start the test and click regular traffic. Okay, 10 infinite loops appear, and they start sending requests. Cloud Run needs just a few container instances to serve this load. And you can see the counter increase too. That counts the total number of requests served.
Okay.
All right, we've served about 500 requests now. Let's simulate a traffic surge now and increase the number of infinite loops from 10 to 2,000.
What the hell?
Deciding what to do now. The current active instances don't have enough capacity to serve all incoming requests immediately, so requests start to queue up in the system. And as an end user, you will notice some additional latency now. And there you go. Cloud Run decides to add many more container instances to serve all those incoming requests.
So you're saying that Cloud Run starts new container instances to handle incoming requests. Why then are there more load-generating clients than there are container instances?
Oh, that's a great question. It's because each container instance handles many requests at the same time. Cloud Run looks at the CPU utilization and the rate of incoming requests to add more instances.
Ah, got it. Hey, Vitsa, I noticed that you didn't push the last button yet. I'm sure everyone who's watching wants to see what happens when you do that.
Yes, I'm not sure I'm ready for that, but I will press it anyway. And this will increase the number of clients from 2,000 to 30,000. And those are infinite loops, right? Not end users. Okay, I will press the button. Wow, look at the number of container instances. And still a 100% success rate. And that's kind of the important thing here.
It looks like Cloud Run scales up quickly when your
like
increases.
Look at the the percentage rate of the HTTP 200 doesn't even dip.
We'll find that Cloud Run won't limit the scalability of our system.
Right, good point. Let's leave database scalability for another video. But handling all this traffic can't be free.
Yeah, that's right. It's not free to keep many container instances running. And that reminds me, I should turn off the load tester now. This test didn't take long, so it should have only cost me a few dollars. And the good news is that by default, you only pay for instances in Cloud Run while they are handling requests.
Well, thank you for showing us how quickly Cloud Run scales up, Vitsa.
You're welcome. I think this experiment gave us a good idea of how Cloud Run scales up, and everyone has to decide for themselves if this would be quick enough for their system.
Yep, well, it would certainly be quick enough for any system I've built.
Well, workloads are different, so everyone has to make their own decisions based on their situation.
That is a good point, Vitsa. Well, thank you, everyone, for watching. If you have any questions for Vitsa or me about Cloud Run scalability, please let us know in the comments. Also, do let us know if there are any other serverless topics you'd like to see in future episodes.
The question
we read every single comment. Until next time.
The question I'm having here is, they shill PlanetScale and other weird DBs. Yeah, I mean, this was quite this is quite a good example, but the question is when it's necessary. When do you have so much traffic that like a normal Google Cloud function doesn't work anymore and it gets stalled, or you get like bad requests, or you don't succeed anymore? Like when? It's about the amounts of requests. Okay, it's about reliability. Yeah, got it. Yeah, but like I've got an API. The API runs at the infrastructure as a service from Google. And I really don't think about the reliability of my service. The only thing I really care is how much requests can Planet Scale handle at the same time. This would be something where I would see the bottleneck, because like as you said, it's serverless. I don't have a server. It's not anywhere here. I don't have a data center. I just use the amount of traffic. I pay for the traffic. And at Planet Scale, I got 1 billion row reads and 10 million row writes each month. But there is nothing that writes about, okay, how much requests can you handle at the same time? Oh yeah, there we got 1,000 concurrent connections in the basic plan. So my question is a connection the same thing as a request? No, it's not. I think so. At least I think so. Yeah, 250k. Yeah. It's a Postgres school. Yeah, it's quite cool. So, I paid to promote. Yeah, for Planet Scale. Understand it completely, but I must say one thing. Yeah, I see like Planet Scale and Superbase. Like Superbase is like the biggest battle enemy from Google Cloud. But on the other hand, is like I started web development from 2 years ago, and I've always been on the Google side of life. Do you see transactions in your database? I don't know if I see transaction. Let me log in. I see storage, backup, row reads, recent anomalies, row writes, deploy request. Do you use transactions? I currently don't know what that means, to be honest. I'm new to this whole backend thing, so I really can't tell. I use an ORM, so I don't really I don't know if like the transactions are handled by Prisma, because at Planet Scale I got an like AWS MySQL database, and then I got an ORM like Prisma, and then I got like Nest.js, and Nest.js accessing over Prisma to the database, and Prisma is like modeling all the stuff for the MySQL commands. Prisma transactions. Yeah. Yeah. So basically I'm doing it. So the main thing I wanted to point out why I went with Planet Scale was I wanted to go away from Google. and I wanted like to have, because I've been always at the Google Cloud using the Google and stuff like this, and I just wanted to learn something new, like more going to industrial standard like MySQL or any other type of database, and try to understand how to build up like data, how to build up tables. And I bet I'm not still perfect in this, but I just wanted to learn. So I can show you quite fast. What I did was Excalibur. Yeah. So I started like, I create a meal planner app. So a meal planner is basically, you've got an ingredient. This is my ingredient table. There you're gonna find all the ingredients with all the nutritional information. Then you've got added ingredients. And added ingredients is like a table that's a many to many or n to many relationship, because added ingredients is like an ingredient with the property grams. So you need to know inside a meal you've got multiple added ingredients, and in added ingredients you've got the ingredient and the amount of it, so the grams inside of the ingredient. And inside a day you've got multiple meals, and inside a meal plan you've got multiple days, and a user is going to have multiple meal plans. So this is like the structure I was building up. And the thing is, this was quite cool, and this is like the structure of how to flow through everything. And like meal plans is a table, day is a table, meal is a table, added ingredient is a table, and ingredient is a table. And to understand that this, and this are all tables was quite hard for me, because like in Firebase I could like make like this would be a collection, this will be a document. Nugget RL, thank you very much for the follow. Like in Firebase I exactly knew how I would build this up, like with IDs and fetching IDs and stuff like this. But like in MySQL, I wouldn't know. So yeah, this was like the intention. And then I occurred some bad ideas, but a problem. So when we got the meal plan, we create a new meal plan. We can add days, or we can add existing days. We can create a new day, or even add an existing day. And we can create new meals, but we can add existing meals. And when we create a new meal, we can add ingredients, where we load up ingredients, or we can create a model with create ingredients, or we delete ingredients. But if we add an existing meal where we delete or manipulate an ingredient, so we changed the data from this added ingredient table here, we would destroy this meal that references to this added ingredient, because this is like a template. So when people are going to create a new meal, they can set a flag to save it as a template, and the template will be just a copy of the current status of the thing, and will have template true or false. And then when the flag is true, they can add this existing meal, and when you click existing meal, the template you inserted will be copied into your day. And then you're gonna have a menu where you can edit your templates, and there you can define a new meal. But it will be always a copy, so it won't affect any changes if you change up the meal, because this doesn't make sense in the for coaches, because you never want to change one meal at client A and to be changed in all other clients. You always want to change it only for client A. You never have the case, or very, very rarely, that you want to change the meal for client A and CDE, and not only for everybody. So you need to go to each client and manipulate their data. Yeah. That's the thing. And I need to go to the toilet. Be right back. Elon Musk, you crack. Just need to post story on TikTok. Good. Yo. So I hope my data model makes sense to you, my friend. You should. What is a data model? Or what is that exactly? Navicat Data Essentials is free. Okay. Navicat. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's quite cool, but I think... Yeah, I think that, of course, for a bigger project, or like for more commercial, this is even commercial for me. So yeah, I see what you meant, because I did this already here, where I added some properties and stuff like this and blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm like doing a lot of stuff inside here, so I don't know how much. Yeah, I got like a big graph over there and stuff here, so, and it's quite easy. But yeah, I think this, like, building up the prototype for the app and now migrating it back into the dev and the production build of the Angular thing was quite the right step to do. Like, okay, I have this big feature I want to test out, so what I'm gonna do is create like my own little app and test out the features before I choose the technology to be 100% sure. Yeah. To be 100% sure, I'm trying to change this and then feature once it's... Yeah. So... I'm so sore. I'm gonna take pop some pills here. Okay, data-driven design, okay. Yeah. It's like, when I started designing this model, of course I started, okay, I want to use, like, the flow should be different. Like, for me, I first need to create an ingredient database, but like the user wants to first create the meal plan. So the user is moving from this side. Can I make this thick? Yeah. Okay. Because this was like a challenge for me in my head, like, okay, the user moves from this, but I need to implement from this side. Do you mean like by domain driven, that you like working in like Firebase collection? because like Firebase is not really related to each other. Otherwise, that I write the ID of or some properties inside there. Like I was doing on the right, and oh, okay. So this should be quite hard for... This should be quite hard to understand, like, from my standpoint. Okay. Okay. That sounds really cool. Like... There's... the data, all the values, yeah. Okay, so first we're gonna answer this question here on Twitch, or the text on the left. All the values, it can get you far quickly, but you eventually slow down as everything bundles together, and then it becomes impossible to add to and fix. Yeah, 100%. Like when I change like the schema or something, like some properties here or there, like stuff starts to break up, and I need like to migrate and add table, drop table, stuff like this. So yeah, gotcha what that means. And then we got on YouTube, because I'm streaming concurrent on YouTube too. I want to ask a question, but not sure if you can answer me. What is the best coding language for game design, since I'm trying to learn Unreal Engine and I'm a 3D designer? It's quite hard, because which language does Unreal use? Unreal programming language. Both Unity and Unreal utilize C# in the source code. Unity is partly written using. But there is this. But there's this guy. Let me. Unreal Engine, which language to learn? Yeah, it's. I think it's something. It is C#, because. I mean, okay, with I don't really know if Unreal. Yeah, Unreal got some C++ coding standard. Ducks Unreal Engine. Let's go. Okay, this looks a lot of C-type coding, C-style coding. So, programming tools. Oop. Let's go with programming tools. Yeah. So I think they're using C++ as a programming. Okay, only 180 pages. Let me check. Okay, domain-driven design. I'm gonna put it on my wish list. Let me check. This is like. I just need to do it like this. No tweet, yeah. Domain-driven design. Yeah, this is the book. I'm gonna put it on my wish list. Wrong list. View my list. Prioritize. I'm gonna put it. This is the Christmas list, so I'm gonna put it very low. Yeah. I was telling them about that book when I was learning, like you would have saved me so much. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, a dude told me C# is good for Unreal 5. So I think that C# will be the better thing. Had to unlearn and relearn a lot of shit. Yeah, I see you falling in. Yeah, I bet I do. But back to YouTube. Yeah, dude told me C# is good for Unreal 5. So Unreal 5 is good, but I know. Let me just check, because I watched today a video of this guy. Let me check. Yeah, here we go. Make video games. And thank you very much for the follow. Dwayne 3D.
No timestamp as the Cappy is mad.
Yeah. So.
Done. Finished. Yeah, I don't know why it's like that.
So, my friend. Go there. I'm on Twitch. Okay, perfect. So, let's continue on Twitch here, because there are more people. So you can go on develop.games, and I think that this site is perfect for your need. Like, what skill do I need? You don't need any skills. Yeah, you already told me that you're a 3D designer. So I think the best way would be how to start to build a game is, yeah, just start with a platformer, with an arcade game. Don't go for a 3D MMORPG. This is gonna be my first game. Fuck that, man. Build something like a really simple. Yeah, like Find Boulder, like Hidden Forks. Like on this site, on develop.games, you've got perfect examples of really simple games. Like Thomas Was Alone, it's just rectangles. Yeah, Suits, it's hand drawn. West of Loathing, it's just sticks. I can't pronounce it. It's just hand drawn. Hidden Fox, same thing. Yeah, so just try this. Yeah. And there you've got like the tools section, yeah, and the best engine and stuff like this. And as on Reddit mentioned before, you can use C# with Unity, Godot, Monogame, and stuff like this. And yeah, if I would go with a game, I would build a platformer with Godot, where I can use C#. Yeah. Because Godot is open source, you don't have to pay any royalties or fees or stuff like this. It got a great community from what I've heard. It's well documented. And I think, yeah, it's quite nice. And it doesn't got any like Unity royalties to pay or stuff like this. So I'll go with this one. Yeah. And there is this video I watched where he's like showing all the stuff, so you can go with it. Yeah. Lana Look streams C#, Unity, lots of streams. Yeah, people, which kind of stream you pick or which kind of thing, I would really start with some basic games. Yeah, basic platformer. Move a sprite around the screen, add some effects to it, add some sounds, add maybe some game logic. Yeah, and that's it. Like, basically that's it. And then start like working from one side to the next one. Or from one project to the next one. So let's check out what already we've finished here. So merged Angular, front and back end, done Nest.js, Prisma, built. Oh yeah, we've done everything here. So since I know what to learn, yeah, I think that you should just like do like a basic C# course and then head into the game dev, because I think that they're gonna do a lot of game specific coding style there, and they will be more efficient to learn the right way from coding than like the right way of game coding than like doing advanced tutorials and moving forward. So the next thing, we finish this, like import schemas, import modules, auth nest.js, and like import resources, auth nest.js, and check and build. Yeah, that's the thing what we're gonna do right now. But first, after this long break of chat, I'm gonna make some food, and yeah, I'm gonna be back in a bit. I think I'll need 10 to 15 minutes. Nah, I need 5 minutes to make my food. So, guys, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm gonna, let's say 6 minutes. Gonna make a counter, and then we're gonna make here just. Thanks, man. I'm gonna say making meal 2. See ya, man. Good luck with C#. Let's go. So I hope you hear me. The project is I'm writing a coaching app, so you can check it out at the coach.cloud. So my fitness pal is quite good. I'm using it by myself for tracking, but my app is not like for not yet at this level of to compete with my fitness pal. It's more about like you're a coach and you're giving training plans and macros to a customer. And right now I'm implementing a feature where the coach can give macros to give meals, create meals, diet plans and stuff like this and give it to the customer. So it's like, yeah, eat 200 grams of chicken with 300 grams of broccoli, use 2 grams of salt and stuff like this. Yeah, but for macro tracking, my fitness pal is great. The premium version is superb. I think it's cool right now when you buy it from Turkey, you just pay €5 for a year. It's quite cool. But yeah, one day I hopefully will implement this stuff too. And the thing is about all these tracking apps is they always say, yeah, we've got the best database. We've got the biggest database out there, the biggest database. But to be honest, like your life, if you track 2 weeks of your life, you're gonna have 95% of all foods you eat already tracked and you got your own database. So shut the fuck up and do your own database. How do you become a coach? Yeah, I've done a lot of I done PT education, nutritional education, training for 10 years, and like after 7 years I started to become a coach and to coach people by myself. And I know a lot of other coaches and all in the same business, helping people to get better and lose weight, gain muscle mass. And yeah, I don't hire coaches. Let's watch some YouTube video.
Hallo Leute, auf Instagram habt ihr...
Yeah, but what when I understand the coach? Where does the coach come from? Is yeah, but would I be able to sign up as a coach? Where does the coach come from? Is what I'm asking. The also great to you. Yeah. So the coach is coming via my Instagram, or I'm just sending them a registration link, or they just enter at the low of the page. You can get in touch with me, and enter just I think it's a tele waiting list. And then you get a special invite. You're gonna make a call, onboarding call. I'm gonna explain everything to you. And if you're ready to go, why not? Let's go. So I think it's a telelink. I need to check them anyway. Yeah, I'm one coach. Yeah, and I'm like onboarding other coaches, and the coaches pay per client they onboard inside the app. So each coach, you can imagine it, got his own version of this app, and where he can like onboard other clients.
C++ is a general-purpose programming language that has been in widespread use for nearly 40 years. But is it worth spending time learning and understanding?
So it's not directly promoted to the client, to the end user. It's directed to the coach of the end user. So when you got a coaching business, you're gonna have some, like I said, some expenses for your business. So it's quite good to keep the tax low. And there you can like do like, okay, I paid for each client, let's say $21 a month per client. And yeah, that's the only thing. And then you have an expense. The client is happy, you're happy because your data tracking is better, and then everything works. It's so hot.
This monster of a language. Well, as most things when it comes to software development, it depends, specifically in what you're looking for. Therefore, we're going to look at some of the reasons you may want to learn C++.
I'm going to give a contrarian opinion, which is I think you should learn C or C++ regardless of what your goals or outcomes should be. You should do it because it is really good to understand memory, and even in Rust, to really appreciate or understand what Rust is doing, a bit of knowledge of C++ or C is not bad. When I say C or C++, I don't really care which one you choose, long as you're like in the process of manually creating and destroying memory, right? Even Zig, in some sense, Zig kind of has this different abstraction where it's like a little bit different. You could substitute Zig in there. All right, someone is saying reduce the OS volume. You might be correct. I did something recently. Output. Oh yeah, let's go like that. There we go, baby cakes. Let's go. I had to turn it up because of something that was happening earlier. So here we go. Let's do this again.
As well as some of the reasons why you may wish to avoid it. C++ is perhaps one of the most versatile languages out there. In fact, I'd argue it's perhaps the one language that can do it all. To give some of my own history, C++ was the first programming language I learned, and because of this, it has enabled me more than anything else. I had originally wanted to learn how to code video games when I was younger, in which C++ is highly used in the game industry. However, I
learned with C#. I did X and A. Back when I wanted to be a game programmer, I used X and A, C#. Come on, you remember that little render update, cornflower blue, never had to touch Win32? Man, I could be a ChatGPT poem creator just there.
Found that C++ could be used for pretty much any software project, including web APIs, mobile apps, data science, embedded systems, cross-platform, GPU processing, and many others.
Yeah.
C++ really can be used for pretty much anything. Therefore, by learning C++, you're guaranteed to have a language available to you that you can use to build whatever you want. C++ is fast. In fact, C++, along with C, are often used as the baseline languages for benchmarking performance. The reason it's so fast is due to its low level of abstraction within the language and the fact it compiles down to machine code. Therefore, if you're looking for a language that is used in mission-critical applications where the lowest of latency is required, then C++ is a fantastic choice.
Okay. These are all good reasons, practical purposes for why you should consider using C++. Just putting it that way, it's a good reason to consider using C++. It's not really why you should learn C++ or the heart behind it, but it is good application space to learn it. I can agree with these things.
C++ is used in a number of industries where other languages just aren't viable. One of these industries is finance, where even a few milliseconds of latency can cause a good trade to be missed.
Jane Street, so there is a little bit of a weirdness to that. So anyone that's doing that type of trading, especially like Forex exchange, that kind of stuff, Forex stuff, usually that stuff is all done with programmable FPGAs. And so you're not really using C++, you're using FPGAs. And Jane Street, I think, uses OCaml to program their FPGAs. So is that, entirely accurate? Maybe it's not entirely accurate. Let's just be real. When I built my own little trader and lost thousands of dollars on the Bitcoin market, I wrote that in JavaScript. Okay, so look at me. I made multi-negative thousands. I bought high, sold low. I literally did one time buy high and sell low. I was super good.
As with all power, there are caveats, however. Because of C++'s low level of abstraction, advanced topics such as memory management or thread synchronization aren't hidden away from the developer. This means whilst it's possible to write very performant code, it's also very possible to make some pretty performant mistakes. Because C++ provides very little abstraction, it means that many concepts that are hidden away in other languages are able to be learned when using C++. Topics such as pointers, mutexes, pass by reference, pass by value, the heap versus the stack, and many others are all hidden away in higher level languages such as Python, Go, and even Java.
Not entirely true with Go. You kind of need to know when things should be heap versus stack allocated, and then on top of it, there is pointer receivers versus value receivers, and there is some level of knowledge when it comes to this that it's not entirely accurate to say that. Rust almost has like a completely different kind of structure to it. Do you know what I mean? Like Rust is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of unique because references are types, right? And so it kind of causes like a uniqueness. Mutability almost is a type, and so it's like it causes it's a little different, right? So it's kind of hard to put it in these exact same bounds, even though pass by value versus pass by reference, like that does exist, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But it's just like when you're using it, it just feels different. You know what I mean? Also, I just noticed that there's been quite a few follows, and I did want to shout this out that we are so dang close. Look at that, 134 left. Let's go. All right, back to the value. 134 left.
That doesn't mean they no longer exist, however. Quite the opposite. It is just that the language does a very good job of preventing the developer from ever needing to interact with them. But that doesn't mean developers shouldn't know about them. And by learning and using C++, you'll encounter all of the
Littlefinger is the worst.
These concepts at some point in your journey. You'll also be able to bring this understanding and knowledge to other programming languages, which can help you to make better decisions when building solutions in the future. When you are presented with these problems in your journey to learn C++, it can be...
Whoa! Are you saying you liked Littlefinger? Oh, really? Sympathize? You want to go toe-to-toe with this one? Littlefinger. Yes, that's exactly what you should do. I celebrated the day he got his throat sliced. Yeah! The man was evil.
Really helpful to have access to a
Littlefinger
platform
killed Joffrey.
which can explain...
Okay, I love Littlefinger. To be completely real, did he really kill Joffrey? Was he the reason Joffrey was killed? Was Littlefinger? If that's the case, love him. Joffrey was my least favorite character from the very beginning. I swear, when they tried to cast that guy, they're like, "Who has the most punchable face?" And they went that way. Okay, sorry. Let's get back on track here. We're trying to learn about C++.
some of the more advanced topics in a fun and easy way. That is where the sponsor of today's video, Brilliant.org, can help. Brilliant is the best way to learn computer science, math, and data science interactively. If you're looking to learn C++ or any other programming language, Brilliant can support your journey by providing customized content that fits your needs, whilst allowing you to learn at your own pace. Brilliant also supports different skills automating any code. After completing this course, it's annual,
which is that there's so many
2 years, and it isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
I think there's actually something to be said about its demand, which is that there's so many systems out there that have been created around C++, and as C++ is kind of, it's long lost its vogue, and so on average, people aren't kind of like learning or becoming experts in C++ outside of the gaming industry, and I feel, or outside of the gaming, maybe the embedded industry, one could argue that there's some C++, but, you know, as far as I can tell, it's mostly a lot of C. At least when I did it, it was all C, right? And so when I look at this, what I see is that there's going to become a very valuable job market, because as that niche becomes smaller, as the people who can write C++ reduces, it simply just becomes massively more expensive to hire, and thus it will become a more valuable and desired language, right? So there's kind of this weird cyclical nature of programs, which is like, you know, it starts off, it's the bleeding edge cool thing to use, this is where everyone's getting paid, it then goes down because everybody now knows it, and then everyone stops using it, and then all of a sudden it goes back up because now people aren't, you know, there's just less candidates available, right? It's the supply-demand curve, just in the most beautiful kind of way. You can imagine that this happened with React, too. When React started to come out and it was the big W and all the startups were using it, they were all looking for anyone who was adept at using a React, which was a small pool of candidates. And then within a few years, it's now like a legacy system in so many companies that hiring React engineers, you know, engineers who know React is exceptionally simple now. So it's like this funny thing. RxJS was that way. That's how I got hired at Netflix.
Big companies such as Google, Apple, and Adobe are heavily invested in the C++ ecosystem. Not only this, it's also used in many other industries, such as video games, movie production, telecommunications, scientific research, and financial, as we mentioned earlier. Even the Bitcoin source code is written in C++.
Imagine if Bitcoin was written in JavaScript.
Therefore, if you're interested in a language that will stand up to the test of time, well, C++ is one of them. Yeah. And even though C++ has been around for a very long time, this doesn't mean it's outdated. Which brings me on to reason number 5.
Ooh, this looks like a double-edged sword right here.
C++ was created back in 1985 by Bjarne Stroustrup. Since then, it has become a standardized language by the International Organization for Standardization.
You know, isn't it kind of wild to think about how old the technology is? And even wilder to think that TCP was invented 9 years before this, and even wilder to think that I believe Vi was invented 11 years before C++. Bill Joy was like, yeah, and did that. Dude, it's like, it's kind of wild to think about all the tech we use today, like how actually, like, long ago it really was, and how well these things have stood time. It's kind of, it's wild.
Also known as ISO. This means that versions of C++...
Your university professor implemented TCP ISAP? Ho, what a Chad!
...are actively developed and standardized. And since 2011, new versions have been released every 3 years.
By the way, the compiler largely is like stuck right here. We're still trying to implement 2017, boys, okay? We're not up to 2020. Okay, what is all this 2020 talk? Oh gosh, there's still 2023 we got.
New features and improvements.
Okay, hey, just because features keep on going until morale improves doesn't mean it's necessarily good. So I actually would consider this as one of C++'s biggest weaknesses, is that it's extremely, in some sense, unlindy. In the fact that if you look at C written 10 years ago versus C written today, it's pretty much the same. C written 20 years ago versus 10 years ago versus today is pretty much the same. But if you look at C++ 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, today, like, they're all very, very different. And is that a good thing, a bad thing? There's good things about it, but there's also really just bad things and annoying things about it. And so it's definitely not like a huge W. But I would say unique pointers were awesome, right? The fact that C++ has unique pointers, I'm happy about it. It has shared pointers, I'm happy about it, right? There's some good things about it.
To the standard library. Despite the language being centered around low-level abstractions, we've seen a number of new features appear, such as smart pointers, lambda expressions, automatic
Lambda expressions. Have you ever wanted to hate syntax? Well, let me show you a lambda expression. You know that one meme with the guy sitting there? He's like, I hate myself. And he's like, here, look at this. And then it's a C++ lambda expression. It's like, I hate this. I hate this more. That's pretty much me when I see that. So I'm going to take a small little picture of this little bad boy, and we will be using it in a meme shortly. Let's go over here. There we go. Let's grab a little bit of this. Fantastic. And MIT licensing. Lambdas are nice? Sure, they're nice. Not in C++. Oh, you don't define your capture group?
type deduction, and many others. Having these features in C++ allows it to have the best of both worlds, enabling developers to either use modern features to ease development, or to dive into lower-level abstractions for greater control. It's your choice.
Yeah, I feel like that's, you know, Dreams of Code, I feel like that was a little bit of a happy painting. Maybe throw a little couple cons in there. You know, a couple cons were well-deserved. But overall, like, C++ is becoming a more convenient language. Or real talk, it is becoming more convenient, but that doesn't mean it's not without its difficulties. And legacy is a large part of what you do, so it can be really difficult, right? It is.
So C++ is pretty great, and you may think it's worthwhile learning. But before jumping into a C++ tutorial, it's worth understanding some of the drawbacks to the language.
Okay, let's go.
The tooling around C++ is nowhere near as wonderful as it is in other languages. In fact, organizing your code project and build tools are probably some of the harder parts of using C++. There's
Hey kids, you want to learn a language called C++? Well, let me teach you CMake! You're just like, what? What does CMake do? CMake makes make files! You're like, what? What do make files do? Make files makes the project! You're like, what? What the f*** are we talking about here? How did we land here?
very little hand-holding here unless you use an IDE, which I'd probably recommend to somebody new to C++. Setting up your project with configurations and makefiles is going to be way too much just to get started.
Oh, look at this guy using a makefile. He's not ready. He's not ready for enterprise.
Lack of dependency management available to you. Instead, relying on system libraries instead of what other languages provide, such as npm for Node.js or pip with Python.
I actually think Go does it the best. I think Go using GitHub or any Git URL is truly, or any URL type resource out item, I think truly is the best way to go about it. I absolutely love Git's library management. I just think, or Go's library management, I just think it's the best.
However, this does mean you'll have a greater understanding of your operating system and how to deploy code differently to other languages. If you really want to learn as much as you can about software development, then C++ can help you get there. But if you just want to build something as quick as possible, then C++ is probably not the right choice.
Correct.
It's no secret that C++ is incredibly complex. In fact, this complexity has been the main point of criticism from many notable programmers, such as Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux, Rob Pike, one of the creators of both Go and Unix, and Ken Thompson, who designed the predecessor to the C programming language.
You know, I just love the fact that they accidentally put in the wrong character. Clearly, they put in one of the core Rust maintainers in here. They clearly didn't put in Ken Thompson. Okay, clearly one of the core Rust maintainers here.
B for Barbie. C++ itself has many, many features, all of which you'll end up encountering as you slowly progress through learning the language. Each of these features comes with its own set of caveats, and you're likely going to break things over and over again.
Godbolt is a real person.
This is all part of the process, however. And with the PTSD you gain from learning the language, you will come through the other side a better developer for it. This, for me, is the greatest reason to learn C++. And you'll learn concepts about software engineering that you'll be able to take with you to pretty much any other language.
Yep.
Except maybe Haskell, which is another topic for another time.
Avoid success at all costs. Classic Haskell. Avoiding success at all. Successfully avoiding success. Oh, man. Hey, that was a great video. I do agree, especially the last part about learning C++. Nothing has made me write better JavaScript than understanding how memory and things work. It is a vitally important task you should consider doing, which is to understand the difference between a heap and a stack, just managing your own memory, freeing it, and then starting to just in your head think about the GC. When you go into your program, your inevitable crappy JavaScript program that you're trying to make the best, and you're just doing things like const A equals some other B when some other C, right? And you can go, wait a second, what's happening here? I know what's happening because I've written some C++. I can kind of understand what's going on here. Yeah, maybe I should find a better way of doing this, right? Just writing non-pessimized code. Because if you look at most of JavaScript, it's just pessimized code after pessimized code because it's just a super simple abstraction to do that. It's not a bad thing because it allows you to move fast. It's a bad thing when everyone does it and you grow a project out of scope of being able to make a simple change. Like there's this thing that shows up in React where they say, if you make this change in React, it's considered kind of bad practice. It can cause a lot of re-renders when you don't realize it. It kind of causes a lot of garbage collection, blah, 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 blah. And what it is passing in raw-dogged objects as props, right? And so that's considered a bad thing. So I built a little LSP called JSPerf, and what I can do is as a CLI application, it can go in there and it can scan an entire directory and tell you everywhere that you're passing in a raw-dogged object or a raw-dogged array. I can even do functions and things like that. And it turns out in the TVUI code base at Netflix, there was over 1,300 occurrences in production code. The problem is that one-time decision is never pretty much ever a bad thing. It's when you have that one-time decision that's made by 50 people over the course of several years, you just build a project that probably re-renders way more times than it needs to, and probably just has a bunch of problems, a bunch of time spent in a garbage collection that isn't needed, all because a bunch of small bad decisions equal a bad decision overall. Super hard to track down, impossible to try to fix. It's just not trivial. And so that's why it's like a big thing I try to think about, which is avoid pessimization. And where that came from was just, Casey Moratori was the one that really kind of voiced it in such a good way. But B is just all those years of just using Rust, using C++, using something that kind of really teaches me about how this, how the world works, right? And so, I don't know, just a thought, something that I've really appreciated, something that I've genuinely enjoyed. So I hope that you like this. I hope that you enjoyed all this. The name is the Prime Machine.
Okay, my friends, I'm gonna go training now. See you. Bye bye. Thank you for watching. Kiss you all.